Hello, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Well, actually, it's not my office today. My office is anywhere it can be, but today we're in the office of Laura Crockett. A friend of mine I actually know from Toastmasters. And it's funny because when we're involved with Toastmasters, we don't realize people have a life
outside of
outside of
Toastmasters.
Toastmasters. Toastmasters is designed to make us better communicators, leaders, and more importantly, more self confident in what we're already doing. But over the last couple of years, I realized you're an author, you're an artist, you're creative, you go back a history buff, and so forth and so on. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Laura.
Well, I began life as a singer, or I should say, I began my professional life as a singer.
Wow.
It was discovered, I don't know when, but I remember that my first performance in front of 200 people, which should have petrified me, but I think I was too young and too stupid to be petrified. So I got up and I sang, I think it was a song that was made from that poem, There is Nothing More Lovely or Lovelier Than a Tree. And that was my start when people noticed that I had this voice. So it carried on from there. I had an uncle who was an opera singer, and he says, "You have to have voice lessons." And you just go, okay. If that was on the program, that was on the program. So at 15 years of age, I began to study voice. And this was one of those moments in a person's life where you really don't think about what lies ahead on this road, except I will sing. However, I learned that the human voice is extremely complex because it's connected to our brain, it's connected through our hearing. If you ever notice that sometimes a person who is born blind has trouble with their articulators. Your articulators are everything in your mouth.
Okay.
And they will have trouble articulating words. And this is because they don't see their parents or other people mouthing the words. So this is connected to how we learn to speak. And the better your parents are as speakers, the better you will be as speakers. So if you're a parent, you should make sure you go to Toastmasters and pass that skill on to your children. And someday they can use that training as well. We all need to be better communicators. So there I was, this singer, and I was singing and doing all sorts of things. And I discovered you can make a bit of money as a singer. So I made a bit of money.
So obviously, you become a little better singer.
Yes, yes.
So you have a purpose now.
Yes. And it was lovely doing the singing. But I had a stepmother who said to me, "I don't know about this singing thing." And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You just wait." And I said, "Okay, whatever." And she was not a wicked stepmother. She was truly more like a mentor to me than anything else. And so I said, "Okay, I'll wait." And I went on for a few years. And then I noticed that outside of arranging music, I was getting bored with it. Because the trouble with singing is you're doing the same songs over and over and over again. So since I had done a few musicals, I thought I'll try straight drama, see how that works out. And it was the same thing. You're doing things over and over and over again. And you know what? I was doing Shakespeare, Joseph. You think that would have kept me entertained?
Entertaining and motivating and inspiration to others.
No,
not so much.
It did not. So I left Shakespeare. That was also one of those things that the gods laid into my lap because Shakespeare is extremely complex, not just because it's a new language for most English speakers, but his ideas, what he's presenting to us, it's amazing. So I'm happy I did all of these things. And when I got into a mythology class, in university, I found myself.
Really?
It was about stories. It's the storytelling. And I realized that I always approached the songs as stories. So a song like, you know, one of my favorite love songs is titled You Go to My Head. And the beautiful lyrics, beautiful melody. And you look at this, and the singer is a character in this song because he or she is imparting a story about this love affair. It's just not going to go anywhere. Even though.
Do they ever?
Yeah, even though
Yeah.
you love the person dearly, madly, passionately. It's just so the poignancy was there, and I realized this is one of those transferable skills.
Oh.
You see, and the singing that I had done just migrated on over into the storytelling realm, just as easy can be, because I know how to use my voice. I know about pitch and volume and the energy and the articulation. So I started teaching these things in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And this got me into a whole realm of teaching. From there, I migrated again. The mythology got me into the history.
Okay.
And at that point, there was no turning back. I really found out who I was, this mythologist, historian, essentially a storyteller.
Well, you kind of learned your art or passion for storytelling by accident,
Yes.
kind of in a way.
Yes.
I know often we're like your stepmother challenge us or put us somewhere we don't want to be, or by accident nothing else was open to take and learn.
Yeah.
And somehow down the line we learned something and we fell in love with it.
Well, that's why we all need to be open to trying new things. See, because so many of us just stumble into what we love. It doesn't start out as this big passion. It's something we go, oh, we have that aha moment. This is me.
Yeah.
See? Yes, yes. And my stepmother, many years later, when I said to her, well, you know, I only sing for fun every once in a while now. Oh, she goes, well, why is that? I said, because I kind of got bored with the singing. She says, uh-huh.
She knew. She knew.
She knew that, well, no, she said, you're too smart to be a singer.
Wow.
And I said, well, you're very creative and you're analytical. Get used to it.
We are who we are. We are who we are.
And that's very true. I'm very analytical. And I'm constantly creating things like that dress over there.
Sure. I notice around your house you have a lot of Renaissance.
Yes.
Maybe it's tied to mythology, definitely our history, all over the place in different paintings.
You can't miss it.
Can't miss it. So, do you design your own dresses too, or how's that work?
Well, since I love everything old, and now I'm catching up to it.
My kids are telling me that's where I am. That's where I am.
Yes, since I love everything old, I would look at like the old Sears catalog, and I go, oh, I like those dresses. And then I was watching like old Perry Mason and old movies. Oh,
those are good.
They're good. They're good. They're good. And I go, I love those clothes. And of course, I was very young when Jackie Kennedy was the first lady, and of course, her clothing. Many years later, there was an exhibit in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City of her clothes. And I'm sure they're still cleaning up the drool from me on the floor. And so I decided to copy the old styles, which meant I had to learn some basic things like pattern making and basic tailoring. I could always sew, but to make your own patterns, this is a whole different,
Wow. Whole different skill set.
a whole different skill set. So I took classes
Hmm.
and got myself a what they call a universal pattern.
Okay.
And what you have to do with this universal pattern is size it to yourself, or if you're making, because I would also make costumes for other
Okay.
people. I've done some theatrical work that way. I didn't care really what they paid me for it. He says, this is so cool that my clothing is going to be worn up there in that opera.
Wow.
Yeah.
You brought up a good point because mythology got you interested in something, and then you found like you wanted to design some clothing because you found like that looks interested. We have to learn. Sometimes we have to go to school. Sometimes we need a mentor. Sometimes we need a coach. Sometimes we need Toastmasters.
Yes.
Something to steer us in the right direction, not just play it by ear and hope it all works out right. So,
Yes.
how important was that to continuously learn? Because now you're a teacher yourself. So, how
Yes.
important is that to continuously learn something that you may already know?
Well, I'll tell you, my personal belief is when you stop learning, you die. You may still be walking around on this earth, but
But you're dead.
but you're
Dead
dead
inside.
inside. Yes,
Sure,
you want to
sure.
keep learning. And sometimes I think, well, no, because I lean polytheistic. A mythologist who believes in polytheism should not
Sure,
shock
sure.
anybody. And I thought, when you know enough, that's when the gods take you. You have to be
Good point.
worthy of their company, which means you have to have
Ooh,
knowledge and to be able to talk to them, even though you're still going to be like this little kid talking to this entity up here.
powers to be.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. So that's one reason why I think people need to keep learning, and it keeps renewing you too. And you keep having those aha moments. Yeah.
I know when I was the district director in Toastmasters, working my way up the chain, I realized we have aha moment, and I constantly was recording people or encouraging them to share their wow factor.
Mm.
What is your wow factor? What's your aha moment? What did you figure it out all came together? But what are
Yeah.
some of your aha wow factor moments in your life?
Lately, I've been putting together a new project called Don't Do Dumb Stuff. And
You're not studying me, are you?
we all have those dumb
Don't
moments.
do
We
dumb
all do
stuff.
dumb stuff. Hopefully, as we grow more experienced, we stop doing so much dumb things, but we're still,
Hopefully,
we're
hopefully.
human beings on
Yes.
this planet, and we will continue to do dumb stuff. And this project is, I'm using mythology because I've gone beyond the stories of mythology, and I'm really even gone beyond the archetypes that people, especially psychologists, Jungian psychologists, use the archetypes in the mythology to talk about personalities of human beings.
Sure.
And now I've kind of gotten beyond that part of it. And I said, well, look at this one story, because I've studied many of these stories. I go over and over and over again.
Mhm.
So let's take the story of Medea and Jason and the Golden Fleece.
Okay.
I said, what do we really learn from this story? I say, well, we learn not to do dumb stuff because Jason is gullible.
Sure.
He believes his uncle when his uncle says, if you just go over to that kingdom over there and bring me that golden fleece, I will give you your father's throne. Really?
Sounds simple,
Yes. Well,
but
if you're an experienced person, you're going to run the other way because you know very well the uncle has no intention of giving up that throne once he's secured it. Plus, now he would like for you to die. And how do you die without him having to your throat? He sends you off to get something impossible.
makes you kill yourself.
Yeah.
No one can definitely kill herself. Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. So he takes 12 of his buddies
Mhm.
and they go to it's Cocos, old Cocos, which is old Georgia, the country of
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
And the only reason Jason lives through this stupidity is because Medea falls in love with him.
The one time it works. No, I definitely believe in love. And that's
Yeah.
interesting. It takes an outside source, a
Mhm.
third party, someone who don't
Mhm.
care about this other stuff, just wants a relationship with us. That changes our mindset.
It
It changes
changes
our
our mind. It
mindset.
changes our path, really. When somebody else who gets close to us comes on, it becomes a different story.
Sure.
Because Jason would have been dead, except Medea
We'll let it
saved
happen.
him. Yes. Well, she,
There's someone for everyone out there.
yes, even though
Keep your mind
she's,
open.
yes, she's referred to as a sorceress. And I just say, no, you know what Medea was? She was a chemist. She would have given us a vaccine that works.
Oh, where are the Medias in the world? Where are they? I know, the sorceress.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
And,
crazy.
and so I used story and began to look at the stories very objectively. You know, that's a stupid move that he's making there. Why do they call Jason a hero? And I started thinking, I says, his purpose in this story is to teach us not to be naive, for one thing, and to appreciate those who help us because he does not appreciate. No, it's just a story that goes from bad to worse.
Wow. I appreciate you bringing it up because sometimes we don't thank people or we don't
Yes,
show appreciation. We just assume they know we love them or they just assume we know we respect them. Not necessarily. It's just some
no,
of the dumb things that we do is we don't tell people how we really feel. We
yes,
don't show them that we love and care about them, even though our pride might get in the way. Like I already knew that. I got this. It's no big deal.
yeah.
But our pride sometimes gets in the way of
Oh,
us growing
absolutely.
and learning. Yeah,
Yes,
I,
yes,
I know that one. Don't
yes.
too well.
Yeah, you have to be,
Hmm.
able to show that you're vulnerable to people,
Sure.
because we don't, people are very stalwart. I don't need anybody.
That's right.
I'm okay all by myself. No, that doesn't work. We're human beings and we need one another.
Sure.
And if you think you don't need another human being, go out into the desert and try to live all on your own. See how far it gets
I used to live in the desert, but I could never do it on my own. No, I can't,
you.
or the mountains, or the lake, or anywhere.
Yes,
We need
yes.
someone to talk to, if nothing else, someone to complain to, just who will listen.
Yeah, flick your ear every once in a while. Hey.
Right. Well, one thing I noticed is we want someone to listen to us, but for them to stay around a long time, we also have to reciprocate and listen to them. And
Yes.
that's also a pride issue sometimes we forget. And that can get us a lot of trouble because, like you said, we need each other. We need each other, even in the mythology world or anything else
Oh,
out there.
the myths are
Hmm.
full of stories of people helping each other. That you see that they cannot do something without getting somebody else in on the project.
Oh, yeah.
And the story of Theseus is that way. And the story of Prometheus, though Prometheus suffered for ages and ages for giving fire to humanity, eventually Hercules rescued
We
him.
all need a Hercules in our life.
We all need a Hercules in our life. I'm looking for him. Where is he?
Well, I don't know. He's on that white horse out there somewhere. And
Yes, yes. And that is so. With these stories, I've really broadened my view of Shakespeare's um, admonition, you might say, from Hamlet when
mm,
he says to a disbeliever that Hamlet has not seen his father's ghost. He says to him, "There are more things under heaven and earth than ever dreamt of in your philosophies." And that is, you might say, it's my motto.
I believe in it. And there are so many things we'll never see or experience.
We don't know. They're mysteries.
They're
to
mysteries, but most of us aren't even open to learn those mysteries or see beyond the end of our nose or
Yeah,
the end of the yard. And there's something spectacular all around.
yeah.
Good, the bad, the ugly. We should be aware that it's there
Oh,
and how
yeah,
we deal with
that's
it.
your surroundings. Yes,
Hmm.
right.
Well, great. Well, Laura, if people want to learn more about your works, how do they find
Well, I'm on Amazon, but they can also just go to my website, lauracrockett.com,
you?
and look up my books on there. I have a YouTube channel, Laura Crockett. You can just Google that. Also, a Vimeo channel called Storyteller.
All
You
right.
can see my stories on those channels. I have a reissue of an old book coming out in the beginning, probably about February, and it's called The Joy of Public Speaking. It's a technical book
Ooh.
on speech. So have this little manual and go to Toastmasters, and you will advance with these two tools at your hands. And then, of course, I'm going to um, do that proposal that we've been working on.
Right. We have a special project we're working on, and we're going to let you know
Mhm.
about that in the near future. But go Toastmasters!
That's right.
Toastmasters
Yes.
rock!
Well, we want to
Yeah,
give back.
yeah.
Toastmasters helped me develop a skill many years ago that I did not have. And this is how I got into Toastmasters because I got all bothered about it when I was asked to do a presentation at Princeton University. Me, I said, whoa, wait.
Yep.
And so I said, I called my mother because I was living back east, and I said, Mom, no, I'm stumped. I This is something I don't know how to do. He
Sure.
says, just go to Toastmasters. Like the easiest answer in the world because it is the easiest answer in the world.
It's such a small investment
Yes,
for what we got out of it, and what we're
yes.
still getting out of it.
Oh, that's why I will always be a member of Toastmasters. Whether I go to a lot of meetings or not, it doesn't matter. I just always want to support it
Sure.
because they supported me. They helped me with that skill, and it took them 6 months to straighten me out and
It
get
takes them
me.
a lot longer for me, but
Yeah.
I'm getting there. What I've noticed how we continuously grow in that particular
Yeah.
organization, Toastmasters, when we learn to give back, when we learn how to take that skill set and use it in books or videos or writing or whatever else we're studying, when we're mentoring and coaching other
Yes.
people. And people, as we grow, people kind of tug on your pant leg or your shirt and say, "Can you help me?" And I find out to be the biggest ego boost in a way because wow, somebody notices that I'm learning, that I'm growing, that I'm developing, which never happened before.
Uh,
Not in a good way.
well, that's that's the linchpin of Toastmasters, as Jim always says, you're never alone.
You're never alone.
And you're not. I'm always there mentoring people. I think that is my role now as an elder in Toastmasters is to help younger people
Yeah.
grow into themselves
Grow
with
into themselves.
communication skills. Yes.
And even outside the club, of course, of the organization, where when people come to you as an artist or something
Yes.
else, like, can you teach me? And when you say, well, I've developed that self confidence, and here's what I've learned, and here's where I grew. And when you're ready, let's talk.
Yeah.
And I work with people on a regular basis like that.
Yeah.
And the ones who are stubborn and got that big ego take a longer time to get to where they need to be, rather than just sit back, be open, listen, observe, ask questions.
Right.
Ask questions. So lauracrockett.com or on Vimeo or YouTube and Amazon with your books and all over the place. Wow, that's amazing. You have a hell of a repertoire.
Well, I've been around a while.
But when you become a real elder, then you have more to share that way, huh?
Yes. It's, when everybody gets to be my age, I'll look back and go, wow, I did a lot of stuff.
Yep. I hope it's positive. What was that book you're working on? Don't do stupid stuff?
Yes, don't do stupid stuff is.
How many chapters are you gonna write in there?
Sometimes I think this will never end.
But therefore the gods can't take you because you're still learning.
Yes, that's right. That's
I love
right.
that. I love that.
Yeah, it's a fun book because I do approach it in a fun way. I'm not a religious preacher.
Mhm.
I'm the old grandma who wants to tell the kids stories that they can laugh at and then go, oh, but you're not going to do that stuff, are you? No, Grandma.
No. Whatever. We were just talking earlier about how little boys like to put their fingers in outlets in the wall, and even though they do it with one hand, maybe the next day they'll do it with the other hand or other finger. It might get a different result. And regardless of how many shocks you get, we are who we are.
Yes.
And boys and girls, we're made differently, and that's a good thing because if we're all made the same, the world will be in a lot of trouble. The world's already in trouble. So let's go back to what we are best at and continue to work at those skills.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. It's really a wonderful world
It
in
is.
spite of all of the trouble it is. And it's a wonderful world because people,
Because of
just people like us, and they're full of conflict and complexities, but that's what makes them interesting. If they weren't complex, they would be boring.
They would be boring.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Laura. We deeply appreciate. Sometimes I get boring and mumble too much. And when I mumble too much, I know it's time. So thank you so much. You've been in the office with Joseph Skoda, and we're part of Social Media Shows Network, and we're always bringing special guests on. And please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, on Vimeo, on Facebook, so forth and so on, or on all the platforms. And you meet interesting people like Laura and so many other interesting people out there. Keep your mind open, keep your heart open, and quite frankly, make a difference in this world and tell your story. People need to hear it. Anyways, this has been Joseph Skoda and Laura Crockett. Over and out. You can have yourself a great day. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye now. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.